morning, and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Rebecca Turco, in for Beth and Julie. Time now for your top stories and weather in the next 90 seconds. Hundreds of thousands of people are expected to hit the road and take to the skies today as the long holiday weekend wraps up. Orlando International Airport officials ask travelers to arrive at least 3 hours before their departure. A man suspected of stalking a 6-year-old in Volusia County now faces charges. The sheriff's office arrested Mark Greenberg after at least 11 incidents were reported over the past 8 months. Greenberg is being held at the Volusia County Jail on $5,000 bond. And the Tool Time sales tax holiday is underway here in the Sunshine State. The holiday was approved as part of a $1.2 billion tax relief package signed earlier this year by Governor Ron DeSantis. The Tool Time sales tax holiday runs through Friday. Now let's get a check of the forecast with certified meteorologist Maureen McCann. Maureen, how are things looking out there?
Okay, so far, Rebecca, we don't
Well, it's known as the unofficial end of summer, and people all across Central Florida are celebrating the Labor Day holiday. Orlando is ranked number 3 as a top destination. That's according to AAA. Big crowds will be out on the roadways, the beaches, and at the parks. So Volusia County beach safety officials are warning for the potential of possible rip currents. They're suggesting swimmers stay near a lifeguard stand with a lifeguard on duty. And as Orlando celebrates Labor Day, hundreds of thousands of travelers are expected to fly through OIA. Our Celeste Springer joins us live ahead of what's expected to be a very busy day at the Orlando International Airport. Celeste, how's it looking out there now? Celeste, thank you. This will be the last major holiday with just 2 terminals over at OIA. That's because in just a couple weeks, the airport will officially open Terminal C to international and domestic operations. That new terminal will add 15 new gates and ultimately allow more passengers to make their way through the airport. 12 million people annually are expected to use Terminal C, which measures 1.8 million square feet.
And hopefully there's more security to go through so that it's not as slow, which can be sometimes, not all the time, but it can be slow.
That new terminal will open over a 2-week period. International flights start on September 19th, followed by domestic flights the following Monday, September 26th. And soon after the new terminal opens, parking prices will start to increase over at OIA. Starting October 1st, the Terminal C parking garage will go from $17 a day to $19. Then October 1st of next year, garages A, B, and C will all go up to $21 per day. Economy parking will also go up at this point from $10 a day to $12. Destination space news now. SpaceX sent up another batch of Starlink satellites yesterday, along with an orbital transfer vehicle. 51 satellites join those others in orbit, already providing internet service across the planet. It could still be a few more years before the constellation is fully built out, allowing service to all parts of the U.S. Here's a look at that orbital transfer vehicle that was also sent up. It's a spacecraft that transports private company satellites and puts them into orbit while traveling in a rocket. SpaceX is about reusability. Falcon 9's first stage booster landed on a drone ship out in the Atlantic Ocean. The booster supporting this mission previously launched 6 others, including 2 other Starlink missions.
We go when it's right, and we don't take a chance.
NASA Administrator Bill Nelson says the Space Launch System rocket will be heading back to the vehicle assembly building after this weekend's scrub. The Mega Moon rocket experienced a leak during hydrogen fueling, which means it likely won't be lifting off till at least next month. Another reason for rolling back, the batteries for the rocket's flight termination system need to be replaced, which can only be done at the VAB. As always, we'll bring you any and all updated information in the coming days as engineers engineers evaluate these issues. And we have continuing space news coverage at mynews13.com over at the Space tab. That's where you'll find a more in-depth look at various missions and everything you need to know about upcoming missions. You can just head on over to our website or the Spectrum News app and click on the Space tab. Next, at least 10 people have been killed and 15 others injured in a mass stabbing over in Canada. Authorities have identified the two suspects as Damian Sanderson and Miles Sanderson. Investigators believe the two men made both targeted and random stabbing attacks in 13 different areas of Saskatchewan Sunday. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police there issued a civil emergency. Officials are searching for these two men. Now, when it comes to financial crime, senior citizens are becoming more and more vulnerable. A Central Florida woman is now speaking out after being taken advantage of by her own attorney. Disbarred attorney Matthew Roby is accused of stealing more than $3 million from his elderly client, Helen Kuhn, spending around $600,000. He took a plea deal in June, no contest to exploiting an elderly person. As part of that plea deal, the state dropped a grand theft charge, and he faces up to 5 years in prison.
I couldn't believe that anyone, in a place of authority like he was could do that to someone.
Matthew Roby is set to be sentenced September 14th. If you think you or someone you know is the victim of elder financial fraud, you can call the AARP fraud helpline at 877-908-3360. AARP also offers online support sessions. Still to come this morning, reducing the dangerous impacts of extreme heat.
You've got to make sure that, number one, you're taking in plenty of fluids, lots of water, sport drinks, etc. throughout the day to keep up with losses and to keep your temperature down.
Which group is being heavily impacted by rising temperatures and what local advocates are requesting to help them out. And you're probably going to want to keep your water bottle handy today if you're headed outdoors, Maureen.
Yeah, feels like temperatures will be back into the triple digits. Now,